Our next guest is a Latino Trump supporter who actually attended Thursday night's rally and who went home with a broken nose, a mild concussion, and his clothing looking like this. Look at this. Just for supporting his presidential candidate of choice, Donald Trump. Juan Hernandez is a Trump supporter and member of the Log Cabin Republicans. Juan, great to see you. So unfortunate.
Hey, you too, Megyn.
You're there. I mentioned that most of the protesters, according to the San Jose Mercury News, were Latino because they were there, they said, to protest what they viewed as the candidate's racism, his outrageous behavior in their view. And in response to that perception, they came after you, another Latino who happens to see Mr. Trump a different way, and tell us what they did.
Right. So just walking, you turn down the street and come down behind the way that the cops led us. And out of nowhere, just protesters start coming up to us, sucker punching. And I think there's about 3 or 4 on me who were doing it. And they were carrying American flags, burning the American flag, carrying the Mexican flag. And sucker punches. There's about 3 or 4 of them on me and then on my friend also.
Were there any police in sight?
As we were walking, the police had dissipated, and there weren't that many. Where the police had gone, or where they weren't anymore, it was riots. Riots were happening everywhere, and the protesters were picking out supporters and sucker punching them, taking them down. And I had a friend who had her glasses ripped off, and she went and talked to the police and someone that was standing there, and she said, "So why aren't you doing anything?" And the officer said, "We were told to have a stand down by the police chief and mayor." And I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that she had reported that, that she said that, because when we were walking around, we saw that. We saw the cops just standing there.
The mayor wants to blame Donald Trump and his rhetoric. And there's no question he said some controversial things, including about a Hispanic judge. He's an American of Hispanic heritage just last week. But their presumption seems to be, Juan, that people like you asked for it by donning that Make America Great hat and supporting a candidate who, while controversial, has taken positions very, very mainstream on a number of issues and very acceptable to the large majority of Republicans.
Right. So we had the Trump supporting hats on it. And even if we didn't antagonize them, but even if we were to antagonize them, it still does not warrant what they did. And Mayor Liccardo's sole purpose is the chief's sole purpose is to public safety, right? That's his main focus. And it seems like Mayor Liccardo had his biases just because it was against Donald Trump. And
Juan,
so
what do
that's
you
what
think? Because, in the wake of the Trump dust-up last week with the judge, so many people have said he's not going to get a single Hispanic vote. Not a single Latino will vote for Donald Trump. You beg to differ. Tell us why.
So I like Donald Trump. He's he's going to be the candidate of my next commander-in-chief, and so I think he'll do the best job. And people kind of come at me about the wall and that I'm Hispanic, and coming out as gay was really difficult, but coming out as like a Trump Republican supporter was far more difficult to come out of.
Wow.
And I have to just remember to take the biases away. If the border was there for Canada, to have to prevent the illegal people coming in here or drug cartels. And if I support it there, I have to be unbiased. And if they move it to Mexico just because it's my heritage, I still have to look at it as for the general good of the nation.
Wow. Juan,
and I get
you're
backlash.
Okay. Thank you for coming on and telling your story. You look great. So
thank you.
All the best to you.
I appreciate that, Megyn. Okay. Thank you.
So wrong. It doesn't matter what you think. You disagree with a candidate, great. Go out there and get on your stump and say so. You don't throw eggs at somebody, even if she gives you the finger. And you don't punch some guy who's there to support his candidate. This is America. There's this thing. It's called the First Amendment. It's actually really important. Go look it up.